The courtroom doors opened slowly. A deep, echoing creak filled the room. The kind of sound that makes people look up, even when they don't mean to. Like something important was about to happen. Near the defense table stood an old man, head lowered, hands trembling slightly as they gripped the edge of his worn jacket. His name was Samuel Carter. To everyone in that room, he was just a poor janitor, accused of stealing money from the very school he had cleaned for decades. A nobody, an easy target, a man already judged before the trial even began. But then, 3 women walked in. Their heels clicked sharply against the marble floor. Confident, precise, unshaken. And just like that, the air changed. People turned. Whispers spread. Because these weren't just ordinary women. They looked powerful, successful, untouchable. And no one in that courtroom knew that the old janitor they were about to sentence had once saved all 3 of their lives. 20 years earlier, Samuel Carter had nothing. No money, no family, no future to look forward to. Just a mop, a rusted bucket, and a heart that refused to give up on people, even when life had already given up on him. He worked nights at a small elementary school in Ohio, cleaning empty classrooms, wiping away chalk dust, mopping floors long after the laughter of children had faded into silence. His wife, Margaret, had passed away years earlier. The apartment he returned to each night wasn't just quiet. It was hollow. No voices, no warmth, just memories. Until one night, everything changed. It was raining hard, cold, relentless. Samuel was taking out the trash behind the school when he saw them. 3 small figures, huddled behind a dumpster, shivering, terrified, alone. Their names were Hannah, Grace, Abigail. The oldest couldn't have been more than 10. Their parents had died in an accident, and the system meant to protect them had failed them. They had run away from a foster home where they felt invisible, unwanted, forgotten. Samuel didn't plan anything. He didn't think long-term. He just did what his heart told him to do. "Come with me," he said gently. One night turned into a week. A week turned into months. And somehow, those months turned into years. Samuel gave them everything he had. His tiny apartment, his small savings, his time, his strength, his love. He worked double shifts, cleaned offices after midnight, skipped meals, so the girls wouldn't go hungry. He helped with homework, fixed torn clothes, sat beside them during thunderstorms, when fear crept back into their eyes. Life was hard, brutally hard. There were nights he nearly collapsed from exhaustion, days when bills piled higher than hope, moments when everything felt impossible. But every morning, he saw something that kept him going. The girls were smiling, growing, healing, believing again. Hannah fell in love with books. She dreamed of becoming a lawyer. Grace became fascinated with medicine. She promised herself she would help people who couldn't afford care. Abigail, quiet but strong, developed a deep sense of justice. She wanted to protect people who had no one. Samuel never asked for recognition, never told anyone what he had done. To the world, he was still just a janitor, invisible, unimportant. But to those 3 girls, he was everything. Years passed. One by one, they left for college, built their lives, chased their dreams. Samuel stayed behind, older now, slower, weaker, but proud, quietly proud. He watched their success from a distance, never calling, never asking for help, because in his mind, his job was already done. Until one day, everything fell apart. The accusation. Samuel was arrested, accused of embezzling money from the school. The evidence. Digital records. Financial logs. Transactions he didn't understand. He barely knew how to use a computer. But that didn't matter. To the system, he was perfect. Poor. Uneducated. Defenseless. An easy man to blame. The whispers started immediately. Old man finally got greedy. Can't trust anyone. Samuel said nothing. Did nothing. And most importantly, he didn't call the girls. He didn't want to disturb their lives. Didn't want to drag them back into his problems. So he sat alone, waiting for a verdict that could destroy what little he had left. But truth has a voice. Hannah was the first to find out. Now a successful attorney in New York. She read the headline once, then again, and something inside her snapped. This isn't possible. Within hours, she called Grace. Then Abigail. Same reaction. Same disbelief. Same fire. They didn't hesitate. Not even for a second. They came back. Back to the courtroom. The same courtroom. The same old man. Standing alone. Until those doors opened. Samuel looked up. Slowly, his eyes widened. He hadn't seen them together in years. They looked strong, confident, everything he had hoped they would become. But what he didn't expect was why they were there. They weren't visiting him. They were there to save him. The fight for truth. Hannah took the lead. Sharp, precise, unstoppable. She tore through the case piece by piece, destroyed timelines, exposed contradictions. Grace followed. Calm, brilliant. She analyzed the financial data, proved the records were manipulated. Then Abigail stepped forward and delivered the final blow. She uncovered the real criminal, a corrupt administrator who had used Samuel's position to cover his own theft. The courtroom went silent. The story collapsed. The truth stood tall. The verdict, not guilty. 2 words, but they changed everything. Samuel sat there, overwhelmed, because the 3 girls he once saved had just saved him. The moment that mattered most. It wasn't the verdict, not the applause, not the headlines. It was what came after. The 3 women turned to him, eyes filled with tears, gratitude, love. No words were needed, because some bonds don't need explanation. Samuel Carter, the man who thought he had nothing, realized something in that moment. He had everything. Ending message, high retention close. In the weeks that followed, his story spread everywhere, not as a scandal, but as a legacy, a reminder that kindness never disappears. It waits, grows quietly, until one day, it comes back, stronger than ever. And Samuel Carter, the invisible janitor, became living proof that even the smallest act of love can change lives forever. Final hook line, because sometimes the people the world ignores are the ones who change it the most.